Hi, this is CJ, and this is the second part of the video how to build the CCIE Routing and Switching home lab using the physical switches and the virtual routers running on GNS3. So if you have watched my last video, I showed how you can connect the cables to the multiport LAN card which I purchased, and since I'm going to be talking about this particular topology, which is the INE topology, where we have 12 connections between the switches and the routers, right? So we need 12 cables. You've already seen the last video. I connected 12 cables in any random order from the switches to the multiport card, and in this video I'm going to connect both the dots. I'm going to tell you how you can map the port to to be able to get this thing work, right? R1 through S1 and all those things. Okay. First of all, I would like to show you how I would like to show you this thing. How does it look like when you have installed and installed the multiport card? Device mgmt.msc. Oh, I'm sorry. Devmgmt. Devmgmt.msc. Okay. Uh, where is it? Yes, sir. Okay. As you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. 12 ports. 12 ports for our purpose, for our lab. And this is actually 4 into 3 card. 4 ports in one particular LAN card. And the most important thing that you have to understand is that when you this is Windows 7 x64-bit computer, and the drivers of this particular card are not natively supported. Like I did not mention this thing in my last video, but in order to be able to make this card work under Windows 7 x64-bit computer, you have to install this card on Windows x32-bit computer, Windows 7, or x64-bit computer, Windows XP. This card is natively supported under those platforms. You don't have to install any drivers. So once you have installed the card, on x32 or x64-bit of Windows XP, use Drive Max or Driver Max application, export the drivers, and then you can install the same card under Windows 7 64-bit computer. Okay, but that is just one part of the story. Now, even after installing the card, Windows 7 will not going to recognize it as a, because it would consider the driver as unsigned. All right, and so it will show all these entries, but they will be grayed out or X out, if you were to put it that way. So in order to be able to make this thing work, you have to disable the driver signing at boot time. Right now, people who will be watching this video would say, what a bummer, man. You can just edit the BC edit. I have done all those things and it did not work for me. So it's a very small setting. You just have to press F8 and then to get this thing work. This is a multi-boot dual boot computer, so I do get that menu every time. However, if you do not have the multi-boot or dual boot computer, so what you can do is you can use BC edit and create a fake or a dummy Windows entry, which gonna prompt the boot sequence to halt at that screen, and allowing you to get extra 5-10 minutes according to your settings, 5-10 seconds according to your settings, in order to be able to press F8 and then choose disable driver signing. All right. Another thing that you can do is, if you don't want to do all this thing all the time, so you can just put the computer on a hibernate mode all the time, right? That's awesome. Okay, the second thing is that I've shown you the USB to serial port card. These I in the last video I showed 4 ports. I have four cables. Now I have removed one of them because I have replaced one of them with the actual serial port. All right, so I just bought the serial port attachment, which goes at the back of the computer and plugs into a small port on the motherboard. I don't know the name of that port, but so that's actually working fine for me. So COM1 is that port, and COM3, 4, 5 is the USB to serial cable, right? So one important thing, I'm not able to fix this problem for quite some time. Okay, this has never worked for me. When you switch on the computer, and the computer is actually at the desktop, and then you switch on the switches. That point, the driver of these USB to serial port does not initialize for some reason. So you have to unplug the USB cable and plug it back again. So the sequence should be that you first switch on the switches, right? Give it like 1 minute, 1.5 minute time, and then the computer, disabling the driver signing, right? In that fashion, if that is the order of operation, the the switches will be detected automatically, right? However, if you switch on the catalyst switches after booting the desktop, then you'll have to unplug and plug the USB cable over and over again. I mean, I don't like that kind of stuff, to be honest with you. So uh, let me show you this thing as well, how it looks like here. All right, as you can see, the 12 port cards are here. Okay, ANA 64044LV. I have not renamed this card because I use computer for many different purposes. I also have the VMware VCP lab going on, so I have not renamed these cards. I have kept it as it is. However, if you want to rename this card, you can please go ahead, no problem with that. Make sure that after renaming the LAN ports, restart the computer, otherwise GNS3 will not be able to recognize the changed settings. Alright, so rename the ports, restart the computer, get back to the desktop once again. Alright, so these three things are covered: the serial port, the LAN card. These are the actual LAN card, these are the virtual ones. Okay, now let us build the topology. Like I said, this topology is going to mirror this one. Absolutely. Okay. Uh, One more thing. Uh, when you are building this topology, try to make sure that you have the latest and the greatest GNS3 software running at the time. I don't feel like, I mean, this comes from the experience. I mean, you may be more experienced in handling GNS3, but I don't like to update my GNS3 software if there is no reason for it. Like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right. So every now and then, my GNS3 prompts me to update the software. I don't need any update. So it's still using the beta version. I don't care. I simply don't care because my topology has been working absolutely fine for the last 6 months, and I have seen instances when you have a settled or a well-made topology gets screwed up because of the update. I may be completely wrong in my estimation, but I don't want to play with my topology. Secondly, you can rebuild this lab whenever you feel like, but it's a pretty time-consuming thing. So what you can do, sir, is that you do not try to install too many bad applications on your computer. Don't know spywares. Spywares comes from if you install a lot of pirated applications. Don't do that. Right? Just keep the computer as clean as possible. Have a good antivirus. Have safer browsing habits. Don't want to get into a situation where you have to rebuild the lab over and over again because the computer has crashed for some reasons. Why? This computer has not crashed one at all because I installed everything, and after doing that, updating the computer, you can update the computer, no problem with that. You can do Microsoft updates, but don't try to install bad applications. That's my honest suggestion. Okay, in the GNS3, just add 12 clouds in any order, no problem. Just put it somewhere, man. This 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, now what are these 12 clouds for? These clouds are the connections, right? These 12 clouds would be tied to the respective switch ports, right? I'm going to show you. Now, if you see this topology, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 routers. 1, 2, 8 routers, and the other one, the other one is the BB1, backbone one, which is not shown. Backbone one in INE topology also happens to be the frame relay switch. Okay, so you add 9 routers. Come on, takes a lot of time, man. 9, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, leave the 6, the first 1 through 6 as it is. Rename, where's the 7th one? Now, make the 7th one as BB1. Make the 8th one as BB2. Make the 9th one as BB3. Okay, I'm going to stop this configuration here and I'm going to save it. I have to show you certain things. Hold on a second. The reason why I have to save it right now, because I need to show you what additional slots you need to add on a particular router, right? BB1 will have the maximum number of slots, additional slots, because it's a frame relay switch, right? So I am going to just save this configuration. Let me say to the desktop. Test config. Okay, and I'm going to pull up one of the configurations, my running configuration. Let me see where it is. INE basic lab BGP topology. Come on. Yeah. Okay, so this is exactly this one, and you were like, really? How? You'll come to know about it, dude. No problem with that. So don't go about the aesthetics of the topology. You don't have to be cute in terms of showing good things on GNS3. You have to learn the topology. You have to understand it. There's a logical diagram. There's a physical diagram. Understand the logical topology as well. I'm going to show you the logical topology, but this is how it looks on GNS3. The reason why I have put it this way, because that's the only way. I mean, it would have looked good for me. If you are, but that does not mean that I don't have designing skills. I have designing skills, but network designing skills obviously. But this is how it looks like on GNS3, right? There are some people who have created a topology for INE using all routers as a switches. That looks pretty good, but we don't have those things, right? This is okay. This is okay for me. Now let me show you the additional ports. I think I need to just hover the mouse over this one. Okay, let me just hover the mouse on each and every router so you can understand it first. Some of the ports are not utilized, they're just there. So as you can see that I have added WIC VIC2 2T here, right? Next would be 2. Here I have added VIC2T. Okay, then the third, where's the third one? Yeah, third. Here I've added NM40 in addition to the basic one, right? NM40, because I believe it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 connections going. And where's the fourth one? On the fourth, you have VIC2T and VIC1T. You can just leave the VIC1T. I don't think I used it, but if you want to add it, no problem with that. The fifth is here. Here I've added VIC2T, and sixth again WIC2T and BB2. Here I have added VIC2, but there is no need for you to do anything because there's only one connection, and there's a fast Ethernet connection going to the switch. Same is the case with BB3. Here I have added VIC2T, but VIC1T would also work because it's only one connection going to the BB1. Now let's start with let's talk about this one, BB, the big one. Okay, here I have added NM40, NM40 once again, and VIC2T. All right, so there are 3 additional slots in addition to the basic fast Ethernet 0 1 and 0 0, right? So you just pause the video in order to get the the basic concepts done. And this is how not this one, hold on a second, let me show you this one. Don't concentrate on the fast Ethernet switch right now. We'll talk about this thing. Concentrate on the serial port. This is exactly what I have on the ebook. I have not changed anything, right? If I show you the logical topology, and it's going to be exactly the same. All right, just hold on a second, please. Yeah, okay. Let me just oh my god, no, right? Just note it down. This is how you're supposed to connect this. Ignore the fast Ethernet. This one for now, ignore it. Don't pay attention to that because this is going to be different for your computer. This one, these ones are going to be different for your computer, right? Just concentrate on the serial port configuration. You have to cable it according to this, come what may. All right, so now you know what additional ports you have to add and how the cabling has to be done. This is actually solved. If you understood this part, almost 55 to 60% of the lab is already built. Now I am closing this. I don't want to save it. I'm going to bring my topology which we just made, test configuration. You know what, let me just switch off this. Let me just also let me go back to the old topology and take a snapshot of it so you can understand. Let me go back to the old topology here and take a quick snapshot of it. Zoom it. Yeah, that's fine. Where is snip? Perfect. Now I can close it. I don't know why it always asks to save. Okay. Perfect. So as I'm going to put this thing aside, I'm going to minimize this thing, or like put it right, left, and then reduce the size. That's going to be bad. Come on. Yeah. 1, 2, 1. Okay, that's fine. Okay. This is the topology. Start as you can see in this picture, this one, in the snapshot. Let me put this thing to the right. You can see that let's open it on Paint. That'll be fine. It's gonna help me mark these things. Okay, resize it. 65%. Perfect. And no, not dropper. Yeah, mark. Yeah. Okay. There is just one connection to the coming from the R1 to the switch 1, and that is fast Ethernet. If you see the topology carefully, closely, you'll see, forget about the E part, this is F, right? Fast Ethernet. Forget about the E. Fast Ethernet, all the, let me just mark it down first of all, and I'm going to show you. All the routers have fast Ethernet 0 by 0 used. So R1 is connected to switch 1 using the FA 0 by 0. So is R3. R3 is also connected to switch 3 using switch 1, the odd number 1, 3, 5, switch 2, the even number 2, 4, 6, and BB2, switch 3, the odd number 5 and 6, and switch 4, the even number R4 and R6. It's as simple as that, right? So switch 1 will have FA 0 by 0 of all the odd number routers. Switch 3 will have FA01 of all the odd number routers except R1, because R1 will have only one connection, as you can see. Switch 2 will have the odd number, even number for R4, R2 and R6, while switch 4 will have the even number for R4 and R6, because switch, just like R1, R2 will also have just one port connected to the switch. Okay, so if you have seen this thing and if you understood it, awesome. Now let's start renaming the clouds. There it is, in any order, hardly matters. I'm not gonna go through the entire procedure. I'm gonna just rename 2-3 routers, 2-3 clouds, SW1 FA01. You can give it any name you feel like. I mean, the way you want to name it, that's okay. And the second one is 1. I'm going to make it 3. Oh, hold on a second, please. Yes. SW1 FA03. Okay, and one more. Where is cloud number 3? Well, you can choose any cloud, no problem with that. SW1 FA05. Oops, sorry. SW1 FA005. Okay. Now we have to tie a particular port on this multi-port LAN card to this. In order to be able to make sure that we are tying the right port, we have to do a test. And by test I mean to say we have to go back here on routing and switching. Go back here. Now I have connected all the cables in a random order, right, without thinking which cable is going where, right? So you have to be able to make sure that SW1 is connected to SW1 port 1 is actually connected to the router 1. And how can you go about doing that? Just disable these ports one by one and keep an eye on the switch, isn't it? How simple is that? Disable this one. Hold on a second, please. Yeah, 9, 10, 1, 9, 10, 11, 12. Disable this one and keep an eye on the switch. Okay, so if on disabling Ethernet 9, if switch 1 once FA01 light goes out, it means that this particular card has to be mapped to the cloud number 1. Got it? And similarly, if on disabling this card, if switch 1's FA05 light goes out, then we know that this particular port has to be mapped to SW1 FA05. It's as simple as that. So first of all, you start disabling these ports one by one and write it on a piece of paper. Okay, which port is connected to which port on the switch, which NIC is connected to which port on the switch. So once you have got the map, then you come back to the GNS3 and start building the lab. I'm going to just add anything like this. Let me just close this thing. No, add this thing. Hold on. 1. And say for example we add this port, the 7th one. Add it. Done. and now we have to manually FA 0 by 0, this one, done. Now this particular router is actually connected to the switch 1 FA01 port, and how we can make sure, how we can ascertain that is because we've already made a map. We disable all these ports one by one and note it down. Like I said, you can always rename it, but I have not done it because I use this computer for many different labs, so I don't want to do that, right? I haven't removed any cables from the computers, and it's been like this for like almost a year or no, right? So you have to map all these things, and once you have done that, once this is easy, this part is easy because I've already shown you the you know the cabling between the routers. We are only concentrating right now on this part, right? The actual connections to the switch. That's what we are concentrating on at this point in time. We're not concentrating on this one because this is easy. This is ridiculously easy, right? So let me just wipe it out, man. What the heck have I done? Oops. Yeah. So let me close this thing, and now I'm going to show you the, a finished product. By pulling up my BGP topology. Yeah, this one. So yeah, this is the finished product. I'm going to be double clicking on these clouds. This is the actual working topology, right? The actual topology. Now, as you can see, it's 64A. 64A is this one, right? So this particular port on my multi-port Ethernet card is connected to the switch 1 to the FA01 port on the switch 1, right? And I have been able to figure this out by once again disabling the ports one by one and seeing which light goes out on the switch, right? Making a map. And like I said, it's a little time consuming. I mean, but uh, once done, there's no problem with that. And that's the reason why I keep telling all the people not to change the GNS settings. Leave it like this, because as you build the labs, as you build more and more labs, the last thing you want to do is to rebuild the lab, right? And change the settings of all the sub labs and all those things. You don't want to do that. It's very time consuming. You have better things to do in life than rebuild the lab, and that's the reason why you don't want to fiddle with the GNS3 settings. You don't want to fiddle with the computer settings. Leave it. Even if you get 100 prompts for you know for to update the GNS3, don't do that. I'm not sure why I didn't get the prompt, because every time I switch on the GNS3, I get a prompt. I have not received a prompt. I don't know why, because I thought I got a prompt when I first booted this computer to the desktop, but it's not there. Anyways, I don't care. I don't give a shit. Sorry. Okay. Uh, Now I'm gonna switch on this computer. Import the configurations. INE basic. Basic is for workbook 1. I have a separate for workbook 2 as well. Config. Okay, let me switch on the lab now. Let's start. Now here's the magic. INE. Let me switch on the secure CRT. And yeah, first of all, I'm gonna add R1 through R4, and then I'm gonna add BB1 through BB3. See, all the routers are booting up fine. This has booted up, this is booted up, 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 yeah, yes. Oh my god, I have not loaded the basic configuration because I was trying something different. No problem with that, sir. We'll come to know about this anyways. BB1 is there, BB3 is there. Okay. Alright, show CDP neighbors. Let me just give it some name to this thing, man. Config host SW1. Oops. Config host SW2. Config, come on, bad keyboard, SW3. I never sit on my desktop. I am such a lazy guy. I have a good laptop, so I take remote off my desktop from my laptop and then, you know, uh, do the labs at ease. I never sit on my desktop. I don't like it at all. Hostname SW4. Okay. It's gonna take some time to show up. Actually showing. It's actually showing two connections. It's gonna just take some time. Don't worry about it. Okay, not a problem. So, oh yes, one of the most important things that you have to understand is uh, these connections, the routers to the switches, these have to be. I mean, for some reasons, the switch and the routers are not able to negotiate the duplexity and the speed. So you have to hard code the speed on both sides. Oh, interface FA is, hold on, interface FA0Y1, speed 100 dupe full. Okay, and you can always switch port mode access, switch port mode access. Yeah. And now let's see, and you can also enable spanning tree port fast. What the heck? Yeah, it's fine. I remember the first time I configured this thing, and my boss was overlooking my computer and was like, "You have just made a major mistake on the network." I said, "Boss, you have to first read this message." And he was like, "Okay." Yeah, that's cool. So now you can see that we have I'm gonna show you this thing and you will be able to understand it better, and you'll be able to appreciate that how easy it is to build the home lab and not worry about buying additional routers or the routers, save money and use that money in actually giving the exam. Let me just copy this command. Let me just chat window, send to all, paste, let's go. Right, switch R1 is connected to R3 and R3 and switch 1. So this connection to R3 is going to be part of the logical topology that you have to see. This is connected to the frame relay, not the to R3, but I'm concerned about the switch 1 thing. This one, and look at this, exactly the same. Coming back to switch 2, I thought it should work, man. The command didn't work. Show CDP neighbors. Okay, switch 2 is connected to R2 is connected to switch 2, as you can see. Fast Ethernet here, right, and fast Ethernet there. This one. Let me copy this thing down. Come on. Okay. R3 is connected to both switch 1, and I believe for this particular topology R3's connection to switch 3 is disabled. This topology specific thing, not a problem. Don't worry about all these things. Don't worry about, because I have not configured the switches. That's the reason why it's not able to um, establish the peership. Don't worry about this. Uh, Damn. Hello. Mm, not a problem. We'll come to that. I hate my desktop. I don't like sitting here, man. R5 is connected to switch 1, and once again its another connection to switch 3 is also disabled for this particular topology. That's fine. Show CDP neighbors. Okay. R2 is just connected to, I mean, it's connected to both the switches, but its port is disabled. For this particular topology, you have to refer to the basic configurations of the topology. Like for BGP, there's a basic configuration. For multicast, there's different configuration. Show CDP neighbor. R4 is connected to both and enabled. All of the devices are connected, but they may not be enabled, the ports. So R4 is connected to switch 2 and switch 4 exactly as it is. Look at this. FA0 by 0 to switch port FA04, and FA01 is switch 4 FA04, right? Doesn't get better than this. So easy. But like I said, make sure that you configure the duplexity and the speed on both sides of the network, of the link, right? On the routers as well on the switch. Otherwise, you will keep getting the duplexity mismatch um, errors all the time, and you don't want to get in that. You don't want to get into that situation. Okay, so imagine you have configured all these things, like you have tied all the clouds to the particular routers and all those things to the ports, and they've connected the switches to the routers. Now you have to refer to the INE basic lab topology in order to build the lab. Let me pull up this one. This is the one for, I'm going to just use the rack one. Okay, you have to be a little careful with the INE has used, I believe, for in R4 they have used S0 by 0 by 0, but I have used, but there's no provision for S0 by 0 by 0 in GNS3, so you just have to delete this. And similarly here as well, delete it. The best notepad, the best text editor would be Notepad++. That's awesome. I have it. Let me just install it. Let me just use it. This is one. Yeah, perfect. So you just search here S0 by 0. Hold on a second. S0 by 0 by 0. What? Oh, serial. Serial. Delete. Next. Remove this. Next. That's it. And I believe they have similar thing for R5 as well. Yeah, just delete it because you don't have the slot. We have S0 by 1 and not S0 by 1 by 0. Okay, and similarly you have to make changes to the BB1 as well. I wish I could give you the BB1 connection. I mean, let me show you the BB1. Where is it? INE config BB1. And this is let me show you the, yeah, interface here. This is actually, you can note it down. One, then this to R3, to R2, to R5. And I would like, I don't have the basic configuration for INE. I mean, I may have deleted that the original file, but this is how it is. Just keep an eye on these things. Very simple. Let me show you once again. To R2, to R3, to R3S10. As you can, as you know that R3 has got two connection to the BB, 1 and 2, and here it is. Come on, 1 by 1, 1 by 1, 1 by 0, 1 by 0. This is in accordance with the INE topology logical diagram. I don't have the logical diagram. Let me just get the logical diagram. Hold on a second. Sorry about the delay, please. Let me just copy this image to my desktop. Rotate it. Okay. Sorry for the bad picture. Now, GNS3 connections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at this. This is actually BB. This is BB1, right? This too is showing up here, but this is actually BB1. Now, you can just let's go through these connections, man, one by one. Okay, R1 is connected to S0 by 0. Where is R1? 0 by 0, and 0 by 0 is connected to BB1, and 0 by 1 is connected to 1 by 2. Sorry, 0 by 1 connected to R3, 1 by 2. This one. See? Exactly like that. FA R2 is S0 by 0 is connected to BB1, and 0 1 is connected to 1 by 3 BB to R3. That's R3 is done. R4, this is what I was talking about, this thing and this thing. You don't have to pay attention to this, just remove it, and remove this thing, right? So when you're following the INE basic lab basic basic configuration, you have to keep an eye on this thing, remove the extra 0, and because we don't have a slot available on GNS3, right? Anyway, if it's available, I don't want to delve deep into finding this thing. I'm sorry about that. Whatever. R3 is done. R4, yeah, R4 0 by 0 to BB1 2 1. And how did I come to know what is 2 1? And this is also part of the this is actually part of the different diagram or topology that INE has shared. So you don't worry about that. Just do it like this, as what is shown in this particular GNS3 topology. As R4 has a point-to-point link between R5, both 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1. Okay, this is done. R6 has got just one connection as to BB3. R6 is here. Look at this. That's a BB1. 54110. X is the rack number. This is lab 1. So I'm going to rack 1 is going to be using 54.1.1.0/24. Okay, and BB2 has got only one connection, and that is where's it gone? Yeah, it's connected to FA0 by 24. Let me see. BB1 show CDP neighbor. It's port hold on a second. BB2, I'm sorry, BB2 show CDP neighbor. Yeah, it's connected to FA0 by 24, right? Similarly with show CDP neighbor. Show CDP neighbor is one of the most important commands, especially for the CCIE lab, because you have to understand the topology, They're not going to make it easy for you, sir. Similarly, switch 3's 24 port is also is connected to BB3. So once again, even number, even number. The port, the switch W2 between these. And when you build this topology, you'll get constant error messages like these that they are bad authentication. Is because only one side of the network is configured with BGP and it's actually calling out for the authentication, and this particular side is not. You'll have to build it as per the requirements of the question. You don't try to be too cute to disable to create the peership without being asked for. Okay, don't do that. So I think we are good with respect to our configuration of this particular lab. I have shown you the topology. I have told you that how you can just build it. First add 12 clouds, then 9 routers, name BB from 7 through 9 should be BB1, BB2 and BB3 respectively. How to map these ports. First of all, you have to understand which port on the multi-port LAN card is connected to the switch, and once you have the map in front of you, then you can tie those ports to the respective clouds. And the order of operations should be that you first add the clouds, give the names according to this one, like FA01, FA01. Name all the ports and then tie the ports, the physical port to the cloud. Right? Do not try to tie the ports and then rename the cloud. Rename the cloud ahead of time and then tie the ports. It'll be absolutely fine. Right? I believe that is all there is to it, and that should end the video now. So if you need more clarification on this particular lab, feel free to drop a comment. I will reply to you. Alright, this is CJ signing off, and thanks a lot for being patient. I think it's a very long video, and the next video is going to be how to build the CCSA lab, the Checkpoint Certified Security Administrator lab, based on R75 topology. I'm very excited about that particular build out. And once again, disclaimer in advance, that's going to be a huge lab, probably lengthy one. I would say 30 minutes or more. All right, so it's CJ signing off. Bye bye.